Alrighty, folks, thanks for tuning in for another Cruise with Smooth. Hope y'all are doing okay. Not going to be an overly long video today. I got a late start recording. I was listening to some news while I was heading up to work, but I had a thought while I was listening to the news, and I just wanted to get it recorded while I was thinking about it. And here it is. There's a rather renowned podcaster and radio show host. I'm not going to drop his name. And a while back, he said that he was limiting his media exposure. And what I mean by that is, like, okay, he's got his job to do, he's got his reporting to do, he's got his opinion pieces to do, but he was only consuming news during the prep hours for his show and during the runtime of his show. That way he could catch anything late breaking during the show and, bring people up to speed on his radio show. Well, he said that doing that, not watching the news in his house or after hours at the office, he'd be taking care of paperwork or whatever he had to do at the office after, but he wasn't watching the news, drastically improved his mood. And I can attest to the fact that limiting news exposure to, network news and, staying up to speed on stuff, reading articles about pertinent things locally or nationally, but not sitting there with pick your news network. I don't care if it's CNN, Fox, MSNBC, or whatever, but not sitting there just blasting the news constantly does improve your mood. When I tune out on most things through the weekend, and that's kind of my family time, and then I start catching back up on Monday, and in the weekends I'm typically in a better mood just because whether I'm paying attention or not, the world spins on. But that got me thinking. All the unrest that is happening today, and the riots, the protests, the coronavirus debates back and forth where wear the mask, don't wear the mask, you don't care about people, open the economy, don't open the economy, you don't care about, whatever it is. If people read fact-based articles from reliable sources, or the news just went dark for 2 weeks and everything, like, okay, take everything right now, every news network shuts down for 2 weeks. And if anyone needs to get in contact, they can use the emergency broadcast system on your local radio station. If suppose there's a new shutdown or a new ordinance that goes into effect due to coronavirus, they can use the emergency broadcast system to get into effect, or to, alert people. If news went away for 2, 3, 4 weeks and came back, would we be in a better, more cohesive mood as a country? Because right now, it seems like everybody's divided on a ton of different lines in the country right now, from coronavirus, Black Lives Matter, all the protests and riots, and the presidential elections coming up in what, 4 months, 3.5 months, something like that. So it just an interesting thought that I had. I don't know if it's if it would have the desired effect, but if the news went off the air for a month and we could still be updated via the emergency broadcast system on stuff that we just had to know, or the presidential text alert system that was tried out under, I believe it was President Trump tried it first. I don't know if it was installed under Obama or not. I don't know, but the first one that I remember getting was from President Trump. It's just a test. Or from the Trump administration, I should say. But you get my point. Would the country be more cohesive without 1,000 talking heads giving their different opinions about why these people are bad and why the other people are good? Because everybody just keeps getting othered. You know, I've mentioned this coworker buddy of mine a couple times, constantly posting the memes that come from the Black Lives Matter crowd, and how he ended up a couple times sticking his foot in his mouth defending the riots, and then we found out they were staged and things like that. Not judging him for it, but it happened. The thing that's funny is a lot of those memes have degraded other races, but he and I and everybody else at work get along just fine. He and I, the last day I was at work last week, he and I were talking about fishing and about cars and about work. He's got a baby on the way. We were talking about you know, how crazy everything is right now, and you know, he's a little concerned with his significant other being pregnant during coronavirus, you know, getting in and out of the hospital for labor and delivery, and you know, the first few days he's, you know, the new father concerns are, well, it's not his first baby, but when you're bringing a life into the world, there's a ton of things that run through your mind. And we didn't have a long enough conversation, but you could tell it was definitely on the forefront of his mind, if not weighing on him a little bit. But, you know, he and I had good grief last week. We probably talked 30 minutes or so on various breaks, if not more, and got along just fine. So I wonder if all the media outlets did shut down, would things be better? I don't know. I don't know how you would disseminate news without, or you know, what's pertinent without news outlets, but it's a interesting thought experiment for sure. So anyway, that's basically what I had to say today. Hope everybody's doing okay. Stay safe out there. Thanks for tuning in for a cruise of smooth. Don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. I guess that's all I got. See y'all next time, folks.